this video, we are going to continue with linear programming and focus on word problems involving inequalities. You will find this on page 328 in the Namibian Ordinary Level Mathematics textbook, Y equals mx+c to success. Linear programming problems are typical word problems. There will be two unknowns or variables like the number of jackets and suits, and they will involve inequalities. Have the first variable on the x-axis and the second on the y-axis. In most linear programming problems, there are 4 stages. Step 1, interpret the information and write the inequalities. Step 2, graph the inequalities. It will be straight lines. Step 3, shape the unwanted regions to find the required region. We already did this, And then we already did this also. Find the maximum or minimum point in the required region. So actually the only new one is this point 1, which is write the inequalities. But let's look at an example. Amy and Bernie are tailors. They make X jackets and Y suits each week. Amy does all the cutting and Bernie does all the sewing. To make a jacket takes 5 hours of cutting and 4 hours of sewing. To make a suit takes 6 hours of cutting and 10 hours of sewing. Neither tailor works for more than 60 hours a week. Okay, so the first question. For the sewing, show that this. Now, this is very important. For every condition, you're going to write an inequality. So, let's just highlight a few things there. So, if I say for the condition is then sewing. So now I must look, cutting 4 hours of sewing, 10 hours of sewing, and don't forget that jackets was X and suits were Y. So if I focus on the sewing, it will be 4X plus 10Y, which is correct. Okay, let's just show you here. 4X plus 10Y, and neither of them works for Morty, so they work smaller or less 60. But then you can simplify the inequality by divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. Okay, so that was for the sewing. But now they bring in another condition, and that's the cutting. So take another color. So 5 hours of cutting, 6 hours of cutting. And it's again X and Y. So in this case, it will be 5x plus 6y is smaller and equal to 60. Okay, and it cannot simplify further. And then draw an x-axis from 0 and a y from this, using 1 centimeter to represent 1 on each axis. On the grid, show the information, shade the unwanted regions. And then the profit, and I just want to write it. We will look now on the next page. If a jacket is 300, so it's 300x plus 1000y. Okay, calculate the maximum profit that Amy and Bernie can make a week. Okay, so if I look at this, so now I will start. Oh, I forgot. They make at least 8 jackets a week. Now, jackets was just X. So you have an inequality just with an X. So at least that means bigger or equal. So X will be bigger and equal to 8. So there's your other inequality. So this will be your inequality 1. This will be your inequality 2. This will be your inequality 3. And I'm going to draw now that 3 straight lines, and I'm going to shade the unwanted. Okay, let's go to the next page. Now I'm going to just draw the lines just like we did in the previous examples. I just want to make it a bit bigger. So where it cuts the x-axis, make y. Where it cuts the y-axis, and the same you do with everyone. This one is easy because it's just going to be a vertical line. So then I just go and I draw all 3 lines. Can you see? and I do the shading. And then I'm sitting with this required region. And can you remember in the previous video, I showed you this maximum of minimum. Now, just remember, will any person or student or learner buy half a suit or half a jacket for his matric farewell? No, he will not. So you have to focus on whole numbers. You cannot work on fractions. Okay, so we can even make it still bigger. I just want to focus on this point here. So in this case, I will just test all that points. Now, let's just see. Okay, so in this was 8. I just want to see why this was not. Okay, can you see why this one will not work? Because there is 3, do you see? But that is below 3. Nobody will want half a suit or 3/4 of a suit. It's either 2 or 3, and 3 is outside. So the integer number will be 2. The same here. You must look at the integer numbers. If the integer number is on a vertex, you can take it, and that's the points that I'm going to test. And then don't forget that previous expression, and then I just test that points. And the question was, if I go back to the previous page, or I'm just going to read it for you, calculate the maximum profit. So I'm going to look, what is the biggest amount? It's 4,700. So I'm going to say the maximum profit will be if they make 9 jackets and 2 suits. 9 jackets and 2 suits. So please remember, it's the same if you have cats and dogs. You will not get a cat, half a cat that's still alive. Okay, so it must be whole numbers, integers. Okay. So let's look at an example. I just want to give you this table, and especially for people who English is your second language, so then this will help you. Just the word in at most 10 will be this, at least will be this, a maximum of 10 will be bigger and equal. It's a minimum, a maximum smaller and equal 10, not less than 10, bigger and equal, not more than 10, this. More than 10 will now be equal sign, less than 10, this. So memorize this. It will help you to write the inequalities. Okay, I want you to stop the video, and I want you to try now 26 number 1. You can continue the video as soon as you are finished. Okay. A company has vehicle parking area of this, which space for X cars and Y trucks. Each car requires 20 meters square of space, and each truck requires 100 meters square of space. Show that this. Now, remember I said for every condition, write an equality. So in this case, let's see what's the condition. It's space. Can you see? And I want to... space. Okay, each car company has built area of this with space with X and Y. Each car requires 20 space, and each truck requires 100. So it's all about this page. Now the cars is X, don't forget. Just want to get the pen. The cars is X, and the trucks will be Y. Okay. So if I look at this, then I say each car requires 20. So let's just start here. So we are going to say 20x plus 100y. Now vehicle has an area, so it must be smaller and equal. It can be less, so there can be less cars, but there cannot be more because the space will not be enough. And now you're just going to divide everything by 20. So therefore, x plus 5y is smaller and equal to that 60. Okay, so show that. You must show how you come to that. They want to see that first inequality and then how you divide by 20, or you can just say divide 20. There must also be space for at most 40 vehicles. Now, if they just call one, then you're just going to vehicles, so it's going to be x plus y, because vehicles is the cars and the trucks. So we're going to say x plus y must be smaller and equal to 40. Okay, and at least 2 trucks. So now trucks is just y. So now this was x and y. Now you will have an inequality just with y. So at least that means it must be bigger and equal to 2. Okay. Now so what is your 3 inequalities? This is your first one. This is your second one. This is your third one. So draw the axis from 0 to 60 using 2 sets to represent 10 units on each axis. Show the 3 inequalities by drawing and shading the unwanted. Okay, now on the next page, the graph paper, I will now come back. I'm just going to write quickly that inequalities down, which I'm going to draw. So it was x plus 5y is smaller and equal to 60. And then x plus y is smaller and equal to 40. And then y is bigger and equal to 2. Okay, and now I'm just going to draw, okay, I think we will work if we're just going to do it here. See if we're going to fit there. It's just my calculator. Okay. Luckily that Casio's lost, so I don't think it's still going to work. Okay. So let's just see if I draw the axis, then this is going to be, I think it will be 1, okay, let's just go a little bit down, but I think it's enough. And then this one, and then I just want to make it bigger for the numbering. Okay. So if I move it up, then this is going to be 0, this is going to be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And this is going to be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And this is going to be the y-axis. Okay. And now I'm just going to draw that lines. Okay, now I'm going to make it smaller for the drawing. It's a bit too small. Okay, I think it's going to work here. Okay, now if I draw this, let's start with this one. So it's going to cut the x-axis, then I make y equals 0. And I want to move it a little bit first, and then cut the y-axis, x equals 0. Okay, so then this is going to be, make it an equal sign, so x plus 5, 0 equals 60, and this will be 0, 0 plus 5y equals 60. So x equals 60, 5y equals 60, divide 5, and the value of y is going to be 12. Okay, so if I look at this, so it's going to cut there, it's going to cut the x-axis, the y-axis at 12 and the x-axis at 60. I think I'm first going to draw that line and even do the shading so that we don't get so mixed up. So remember y is 12, x-axis at 60, and the y-axis at 12. So it's nice, every block is 1 unit, so it's there. Okay, okay. Now the next one, x, I remember this one. This was always the nice 1x plus 1y is 40. So it will cut the x-axis at 40 and the y-axis at 40. Oh, I forgot. I said I want to do the shading also. So if it's smaller and equal, so this is the wanted, okay? And remember, I shade the unwanted. So what will be the unwanted? Yes. So smaller is the wanted, the unwanted will be this. Okay, and then x plus y is 40, so let's just take another color, 40 and 40, that's a nice one. And again, it's smaller, so it's again the bottom, and I will shade the top. Okay, and then this is just one variable, so this is easy. I draw the line y equals 2, so it will just cut the y-axis, and it will cut the y-axis at 2. So what color don't I have? 2. It's going to be here. It's a bit too low. And again, it's bigger, so it's up, and remember, I shade the unwanted, the opposite side. Okay. And here is your required region now. Now, if I am going to read for you from the previous page, that example. Okay, so draw, shade that was number C. The company charged $50 for each car and 100 Namibian dollar for each truck. So, then it will be, this is number D. So, this is going to be $50 and $50, so it's 50x because vehicles is x and trucks is y. That is your expression. But now let's just get your points. Remember, it can only be integers. So if I look at the points, let's look at the first one, 0 and 12. Because it's solid lines, I can take that one. That will be 0 and 12. And then I look at the next one here, although I don't think this one will work, but that would have been 0 and 2. I'm just taking it. I can already see it's not going to work. And then the corner here, and now I must just look. That is 2 blocks, so it's here. Okay, I'm just nervous, but it's 38 and 2. Okay, and then let's see if there's another here. It looks like 35 and 5. Do you see? 35 and 5. Okay, and now I'm just going to put it in that expression. So if I say for this point, so it's going to be 50 in the x 0 plus 100, 12. Okay, we'll now work that out. And this is going to be 50, 0 plus 100 and 2. And this is going to be 50, 38 plus 102. And this is going to be 50, 35 plus 105. Okay, and then I'm just going to work it out, and if I work it out, all of them, so this will be just, that one is easy, it's 1,200, and this one will just be 200, and this one will be 50 times 38 plus that 200, and that will be 2,100. And that's 50 times 35 plus that 500, and that will be 2. Now let's just get it correct. 2, 2, 5, 'Kay, I'm just struggling with the pen, but it's all right. 5, 0. And read the question again. They were asking that give the company the greatest possible. So if I look at the greatest possible, then it will be this one. Do you agree? Let's just underline it. It will be this one. So what is the question was, calculate this income. So therefore, 35, let's just see, 2,800 and 2 trucks, so 2250. So it will be definitely, it's going to be, I just want to quickly 2250. So that is going to be 35, no, let's just say the income, because that's the question. So the question, calculate this income. So therefore, 2, oh this pen now, it's almost the end, 2, 2, 5, 0, that's the greatest income. Oh, I want to just put that Namibian dollar in front. Okay, so that will be the greatest income.